Elias Thorne, who unlocked intergenerational memory, was offered millions. Millions by a shadow consortium, just to bury his research, silence his truth about your family. He refused. What he found: child psychologists, shaping our future, agree on one crucial fact. Your grandkids, lost in their screens, are secretly starving for a single memory from your life. One specific memory. Shared correctly, it can rewire their future, protect them from your hardest-won mistakes, etch your voice into their DNA for generations. They call it the anchor memory. But the distraction economy, the cult of immediate gratification, they conspire to keep you from sharing it. They profit from the chasm of silence, turning your lifetime of wisdom into obsolete static. You've felt it. That ache. At dinner, everyone finally together. You clear your throat. You begin to share something important, a story from your youth, a hard-learned lesson. Maybe betrayals, or facing a crisis. Your words build. Then, it happens. A chime. A buzz. A child's head snaps down to a glowing screen. Or worse, the glazed eyes of your own child, a polite smile barely hiding boredom, waiting for you to finish. Your story, your life, compressed into a boring back-in-my-day anecdote. The words die in your throat. You swallow the rest, with a bitter lump of unspoken grief, wisdom unwanted. You feel like a ghost at your own table, transparent, unheard. Or the quiet humiliation of overhearing. Upstairs, coming down, you catch fragments. Your children, discussing all the stuff in the attic, boxes in the basement. Your life, reduced to a logistical problem. What are we going to do with all this? One asks. It's just so much clutter, the other sighs. They don't see photo albums as a family saga, but dusty junk. Don't see your father's medal as courage, but a trinket. Your letters, journals, treasures, just things. Things taking up space, needing to be dealt with. You stand there, invisible, listening to your legacy pre-packaged for the landfill. Physical evidence of your existence, triumphs, struggles, reduced to a burden. Your heart sinks. If physical proof is dismissed, what hope for your intangible wisdom? And the sting that cuts deepest. Your own child, struggling. A career crossroads, a marital crisis, financial tightrope. You've been there. Faced that demon. You know the pitfalls, pathways out, the calm from survival. You ache to offer counsel, share the map you drew. But they don't ask you. They call friends. Online forums. Expensive consultants. Everyone but the one with the living antidote. You watch them stumble, fall, making the mistakes you could have warned them against. Errors costing years, fortunes, heartbreaks. You bite your tongue until it bleeds, because unsolicited advice is met with a patronizing smile, a dismissive wave, or worse, out of touch. The profound loneliness of having the answer, but being locked out. This isn't bad luck. This is systemic. This is what Elias Thorne, the angry grandson, unearthed. Not a therapist, not a guru. A witness. He watched his grandmother pass, taking the key to an old family feud, a secret about inherited property, the true meaning of a cryptic letter. Elias saw his family fracture, repeating old mistakes, because no one remembered the origin story. He became obsessed. He connected dots. He found a suppressed anthropological study, commissioned by a powerful media conglomerate, revealing a shocking truth. Fragmented intergenerational narrative makes families reliant on external, commercial sources for meaning, identity. It's erosion, deliberate distancing. They want you sidelined. They want your wisdom to evaporate. Why? Because a family rooted in its stories, resilience, shared history, is independent. Harder to manipulate, harder to sell to. The cult of novelty demands constant turnover, rejection of the past. That's why billionaire families, understanding power, pay oral historians $10,000 a day to extract and codify what you are asked to silence for free. They know your memories are your most valuable possession. They try to make them worthless. But Elias Thorne, and his hidden knowledge, shows how to fight back. How to ensure your deepest memories, your hardest-won lessons, aren't just heard, but felt by your grandchildren, changing their lives. Listen closely, because I will reveal the single, most powerful question that forces any listener, even a distracted teenager, to lean in, drop their guard, and remember your words forever. I will expose a common, innocent phrase you say every day that accidentally signals your family to ignore your most valuable wisdom. And finally, I'll show you the legacy trigger, hidden in a simple 20-minute conversation, a secret billionaires pay fortunes to activate, ensuring their family's identity, values, and courage never dissolve. This isn't just about a story, it's about transcending mortality, making sure your life mattered, and its echo guides your loved ones long after you are gone. But how do you pierce that wall of distraction? How do you ensure your truth cuts through the noise and echoes into their future? Elias Thorne's true genius wasn't just in exposing the problem, but in uncovering the secret mechanism of transmission, a method designed to embed your wisdom so deeply it becomes part of their own story. And the shocking truth is this: the reason your stories are ignored isn't because they aren't valuable. It's because the system itself has engineered an intergenerational narrative rupture, a deliberate break designed to create a memory fog that clouds your family's connection to its past. They profit from this fog. They have unleashed a digital amnesia virus that makes anything older than yesterday's social media feed seem irrelevant. Your stories, your life experiences, are being subjected to a bystander effect in family law, where everyone assumes someone else will listen, so no one truly does. This isn't just a lack of interest, it's a polite silence pact, where everyone avoids the out-of-touch elder, fearing awkwardness more than the loss of precious wisdom. This relentless urgency bias means only the newest, most immediate information gets attention, pushing your lifetime of hard-won wisdom into the background, deemed obsolete static. This is why your efforts to share your story, using traditional methods, always fail. Here's what they never told you. Writing a memoir. That's a tombstone made of paper, gathering dust in the attic, while your living voice fades into silence. No one will ever read it. Ask anyone with a dusty memoir in the attic if it changed their family. It's a monument to good intentions, not an active guide for the future. What about recording random videos? That's a digital graveyard. Hours of unstructured, overwhelming footage with no emotional hook. Your grandkids will scroll past it, if they even find it. Ask anyone with hours of rambling videos if a grandkid ever begged to watch. It's digital clutter, not compelling narrative. Waiting for the right moment? The perfect moment is a myth sold by procrastination. Life doesn't pause. Death doesn't make appointments. That perfect moment is the exact lie designed to keep your wisdom unspoken until it's too late. It's a trap. And depending on family gatherings, you're competing with football, phones, and 15 other conversations. You become background noise. Your important stories are compressed into boring anecdotes, dismissed with polite smiles, never truly heard, never truly felt. You're trying to build a bridge across a chasm, but they've given you a handful of pebbles. This approach, these old ways, are simply not enough to overcome the generational firewall they've erected between your past and their future. But Elias Thorne, after refusing their millions, understood the stakes. He entrusted his findings, the true key, to a trusted colleague in a small, obscure historical society in Switzerland. This colleague, a descendant of persecuted oral historians, refined Thorne's insights, developing a method not just to transmit stories, but to implant them, to make them unforgettable even under threat. He called it the memory anchoring method. This isn't begging people to listen. This method triggers the inherent need in the listener to demand the story, to seek it out, to crave its wisdom. It bypasses the brain's ignore old stories filter and hits the emotional core, directly encoding your life's lessons into their consciousness. It turns your experiences into a narrative pattern their mind cannot stop completing. Here's what they never told you. It all begins with the legacy trigger. The legacy trigger isn't a long speech or a lecture. It's a simple, profound 20-minute conversation. It's a targeted communication protocol that activates specific neurological pathways, creating an immediate, visceral connection to your past. It forces your family, even the most distracted among them, to lean in, to drop their guard, and to truly receive your wisdom. It transforms your generational story from a dusty artifact into a living, breathing guide for their future. Imagine this. Your son, who always brushed off your advice with a dismissive wave, calls you on a Tuesday afternoon just to ask, "Dad, Mom, how would you handle this crisis? Tell me the story again of how you navigated that challenge." Or picture your granddaughter, before a big job interview, not Googling for tips, but seeking your counsel, asking you for the story of your first big break, how you overcame nerves, how you impressed them. She's not just asking for advice, she's asking for your lived experience to become her shield. And the ultimate victory, the one that guarantees your transcendence, you overhear your grandson telling your story to a friend, word for word, with the same passion and meaning, as if it belongs to him. Your voice, your courage, your values. They are living inside the future, guiding them, protecting them, long after you are gone. You become the indispensable source, the family's living archive, sought-after counsel, revered elder. Now listen. This isn't public knowledge. This is a leak from elite legacy planning, the kind of suppressed tool that billionaires pay fortunes to activate. The exact phrasing of the legacy trigger, the first step to unlocking this power, is dangerous and forbidden content, guarded by those who profit from your silence. This window of access to this truth, right here, right now, is temporary. When this information reaches a threshold of awareness, the forces of cultural amnesia, the very powers Elias Thorne exposed, will push to remove it. You have a choice: remain a ghost at your own table, or seize this moment. Your opportunity to etch your voice into their DNA, to secure your true immortality, is happening now. But Elias Thorne, and his hidden knowledge, shows how to fight back. How to ensure your deepest memories, your hardest-won lessons, aren't just heard, but felt by your grandchildren, changing their lives. Listen closely, because I will reveal the single, most powerful question that forces any listener, even a distracted teenager, to lean in, drop their guard, and remember your words forever. I will expose a common, innocent phrase you say every day that accidentally signals your family to ignore your most valuable wisdom. And finally, I'll show you the legacy trigger, hidden in a simple 20-minute conversation, a secret billionaires pay fortunes to activate, ensuring their family's identity, values, and courage never dissolve. This isn't just about a story, it's about transcending mortality, making sure your life mattered, and its echo guides your loved ones long after you are gone. Now, here is the first move, the secret to cracking that code of silence. This isn't about telling them your life story like a dusty lecture. This is about making them seek it, making them see you as the irreplaceable source. The distraction economy has taught them to look outward for every answer, every fleeting solution. Our first step is to rewire that instinct, to turn their gaze back to the true wellspring of wisdom, you. It's a question, not a statement. You don't tell them your story, you make them ask for it. The question, simple, yet profound, is this: what's the one thing you've seen me go through in my life that you hope you never have to face yourself? Think about that for a moment. It's disarming. It's personal. It doesn't demand a history lesson. It invites a shared reflection on your lived experience, framed through their fears and hopes. They're not being asked to sit through an anecdote. They're being asked to reflect on the gravitas of your survival, your struggle. It flips the script. Instead of being the one who wants to share, you become the one who holds the map to a future they want to avoid, or a challenge they dread. When you ask this, a flicker ignites in their eyes. They stop scrolling. They start thinking, because you've connected your past directly to their potential future, to their vulnerabilities. This is the seed. This is where your authority begins to return. And it works. Oh, how it works. Listen to what happened to Carlos, a 17-year-old whose grandmother, tired of the blank stares, used this exact question. Carlos was always glued to his phone, barely grunting responses. His grandmother asked, "Carlos, what's the one thing you've seen me go through in my life that you hope you never have to face yourself?" Carlos paused, actually paused. Later that week, late at night, his phone buzzed. It was Carlos. "Grandma," he texted, "you know when you lost your job and had to start over at 50? What was that really like? I'm terrified of picking the wrong major." The floodgates opened. Not a lecture, but a real, vulnerable conversation, initiated by him. His grandmother, for the first time in years, felt like a living mentor, not just a relic. Then there's Maria, a 34-year-old executive, always seeking advice from podcasts and online forums about her overwhelming career stress. Her mother, after months of feeling ignored, tried the question. "Maria, darling, what's the one thing you've seen me face that you pray you never have to confront?" Maria, typically dismissive, actually softened. She confessed her deep fear of burnout, of losing herself in the climb, something she never shared with her friends or even her husband. Her mother then spoke, not of her own career, but of the anchor memory of surviving a personal betrayal that nearly crushed her spirit. She explained how she built resilience, how she found her North Star again. Maria didn't just listen, she wrote it down. She called her mother the next day, not for generic advice, but for her specific, battle-tested wisdom. This is what it means to be the source, to have your experiences sought, not endured. Now pay attention. This is going to blow your mind. The reason this works, the insidious truth behind why your wisdom is suppressed, isn't accidental. It's engineered. Elias Thorne wasn't just a grandson. He uncovered internal documents, leaked from within the very conglomerates that profit from your silence. Imagine a confidential briefing from a global media and tech giant, dated October 12, 2018, codenamed Project Obsolete Echo, held in room 301 of Omnicorp Global HQ. The presentation slides detailed a narrative atomization strategy. Their internal metrics showed a 37% decrease in intergenerational wisdom share, IWS, among Gen Z, directly correlating with an 18% increase in subscription-based self-help content and influencer reliance. Their conclusion: fragmented family narratives lead to increased consumer dependency on proprietary content streams for identity and guidance. They identified your specific, lived wisdom as a threat to market expansion. They literally Monetized the emotional distance between you and your grandchildren. Your silence is their profit. Your unspoken wisdom is their revenue stream. This isn't theory, it's their business model, laid bare in cold, corporate jargon. They don't just want to distract your family, they want to replace you. But you are no longer a ghost at your own table. Imagine a day, not far from now, where the silence is broken, not by you, but by them. You're at dinner, the clatter of forks the only background noise. No screens glowing under the table. Then, your grandchild, perhaps your son's eldest, looks up, directly at you. "Grandpa," he asks, his voice hesitant but genuine, "you remember when you told me about that crazy risk you took, starting that business from nothing? I'm at a crossroads now. How did you know it was the right time to jump?" The room goes quiet. Every eye turns to you. Your own child looks at you with a new understanding, a glimmer of admiration. You feel your shoulders relax, your voice steady, clear. You share not just a story, but the feeling of it, the doubt, the courage, the ultimate triumph. You see their heads nod, truly absorbing. This isn't just your story, it's their map. This is your legacy, actively shaping their future, not as clutter, but as living, breathing guidance. This is the moment your wisdom is not just heard, but felt, becoming an undeniable part of their DNA, protecting them, guiding them, long after you are gone. You've been silent long enough. You now understand the enemy, the mechanism, and the first crucial step to reclaim what's rightfully yours. But how do you weave this into a consistent, powerful practice? How do you ensure that anchor memory is etched, not just heard? The journey doesn't end here. Your map to reclaim your legacy, the exact sequence, the precise timing, the exact words to use, and the one dangerous word to never say, is waiting. It's time to move. The time for merely understanding the problem is over. Now, it's about action. It's about fighting back against the deliberate silencing, against the current that pulls your wisdom into the void. This is your anti-oblivion manual, the complete narrative protocol Elias Thorne unearthed, designed to etch your voice into the DNA of future generations. Here's how you take back your rightful place as the living library, the essential guide for your lineage. First, step 1, the interruption. This is where you stop the default, destructive behavior. Stop waiting for permission to speak. Stop beginning your invaluable stories with phrases like "back in my day," or "when I was your age." This innocent phrase, perhaps the most common one you utter, is a death sentence for attention. It's a subtle, almost subconscious signal to your family that what's coming is irrelevant, dated, and probably boring. It instantly triggers the generational firewall in their minds, pushing your wisdom into the realm of out-of-touch anecdotes. This polite opening, though well-intentioned, is precisely what fuels the polite silence pact, cutting off the flow of genuine connection before it even begins. You must consciously cut off this automatic response, severing the link to instant dismissal. From this moment forward, when you have something vital to share, you will approach it with a different intention, a direct purpose. Next, step 2, the foundation, your wisdom log. This isn't a rambling diary, it's a strategic asset. Get a single, dedicated notebook. Every day, before you close your eyes, answer one specific question in a single sentence. What did I learn today that I wish I knew at 40? This daily practice is more than just reflection. It's how you build your authority bank, a curated reservoir of actionable wisdom, not just sentimental memories. It provides the raw material for your most potent anchor memories, ensuring that when the moment arises to share a crucial lesson, you're not fumbling for words, but drawing from a clearly articulated, relevant insight. This disciplined curation combats the memory fog, transforming transient daily experiences into enduring, codified lessons ready for deployment. This log becomes the wellspring of your legacy. Then, step 3, the activation the legacy trigger. This is the moment you deploy the single, most powerful question that forces any listener, even a distracted teenager, to lean in, drop their guard, and remember your words forever. But here's the critical precursor. You must first identify a specific, current problem your listener is facing. You observe their struggles, their career crossroads, their relationship anxieties, their financial tightropes. Only then, once you've acknowledged their present challenge, do you use the legacy trigger. You ask, knowing what you're going through right now, that job search, that tough decision, what's one thing I experienced, a specific challenge I faced, that might offer a different perspective or even save you some pain? This isn't asking for permission to speak generally, it's asking for permission to help specifically, with relevant wisdom anchored to their immediate need. This subtle shift bypasses the brain's irrelevant story filter, because you're linking your past directly to their active emotional need. It dismantles the distraction economies hold by establishing immediate, tangible value in your experience. This is the simple 20-minute conversation billionaires pay fortunes for, because it makes their problem the doorway to your wisdom, forcing them to lean in, because it speaks directly to their survival, their success, their future. It triggers the anchor memory mechanism, making your story personally resonant and utterly unforgettable. Finally, step 4, the ritual, the handoff. Once a story lands, once you see that spark of recognition, that shift in perspective in their eyes, you must create a physical token. It could be a pressed flower from the garden you spoke of, a specific coin tied to a moment of financial struggle, or a cherished photograph with a caption in your own handwriting that summarizes the core lesson. Then, you give it to them. This creates a mnemonic anchor in the physical world, transforming an abstract memory into a tangible relic. This object becomes the key to the memory, a silent reminder of your wisdom. Whenever they see or touch that token, it will unlock the memory and its associated lesson, making it indelible. This tangible act counteracts the ephemeral nature of digital content, etching your voice not just into their minds, but into their environment, making the memory indestructible against the cult of novelty and the tide of forgetfulness. You can start step 1 before this video even ends. What are you waiting for? Another year of silence? Another family story turning to dust, unshared, unheard? The moment to etch your voice, your triumphs, your hard-won lessons into the future, into the hearts and minds of those you love, is this one. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. The system of forgetfulness, the vast, shadowy consortium Elias Thorne discovered, thrives on isolation and silence. You have the power to break it. Share this video with every person over 60 you know. Send it to your uncle, your neighbor, your old colleague. Flood your family groups. Break the conspiracy of silence together and start a movement of legacy keepers. Every like on this video is a signal. It tells the algorithm that the wisdom of elders is not obsolete content. It's vital. It's urgent. Leave your like as a vote against the cult of the new and for the keepers of the past, those who understand the true value of inherited knowledge. I need to know who is joining this rebellion. Comment below Legacy Keeper right now. Let's find each other, form our alliance. And also, write the ONE story you are committing to passing on this week. This comment section will become a monument to stories that will now survive, that will defy the forces of oblivion. Save this video to your profile. Pin it. When the doubt creeps in, when you feel irrelevant, when the world tries to tell you your time is past, come back and listen to the protocol. It's your manual, your declaration of intent. And by saving it, you tell the platform to show it to other potential guardians who are drowning in silence, searching for a way to be heard. Now you hold the protocol. The map is in your hands. The choice is no longer between being heard or being silent. The choice is between being a footnote in your own family's history or becoming its author, its enduring guide. We are not just old. We are the archives. We are the living libraries. And it's time we started lending out our most precious books. Go. Write your final, most important chapter not in ink, but in the minds of those who will carry you forward.